Besides science, Dr. Mohideen Wafar has different passions too. In 2018, at the age 69, he rode the circuit by road from Jammu to Leh and then to Khardungala, the highest motorable road in the world, on a low-powered, non-geared scooter. Then, at age 73, he rode from Leh to Umlingala for about 800 kilometers again on scooter. This July-August in 2025, he plans to go to Migla, which is higher than Umlingla. Today, we are meeting a couple in their 70s who are giving us major couple rules. Today, we are meeting a couple in their 70s who are giving us major couple goals. These veterans are retired scientists from National Institute of Oceanography, Goa. Right from entire environment conservation to public awareness to publishing books together, they are channelizing their entire energy towards focusing on passing on their experience, knowledge, and their legacy to the upcoming generations. We are delighted to introduce our guest for the day, Dr. Saeeda Wafar, and her husband, Dr. Mohideen Wafar, both accomplished individuals in the field of science. You both just don't portray a very happy and prosperous couple, but your companionship has been very enriching and fruitful for the society. To begin with, at the very outset, we would like to know something about the beginnings of your marriage and family.
In fact, I joined in 1975 here at National Institute of Oceanography. I was working on scientific as a scientific assistant. In 1980, I got married to Dr. Mohideen Wafar. He was from Tamil Nadu, I was from Karnataka. We got married. Ours was a happy married life. We got children in 1989. Our first child was born. And immediately within 2 years, second child. Both the children were very good in studies, very smart, and we trained them properly. Every field they know. We gave them good upbringing. They came up as in life very nicely. At the young age, my younger son was black belt karate, and both were scuba divers within that 13 to 14 years age, scuba diving masters later. So everything they know, in general knowledge onwards about studies and all that. My elder son Niaz, he got into business management and he got the job immediately, whereas younger son was doing mechanical engineering. He finished that, but he was not interested in going abroad or doing any studies. He says no, he wants to join army. He joined. He was second throughout India, second in the list out of 2 lakhs. We don't have any problem with both the sons because we are very happy. Both are happily settled, happy in their field. This is about children. We took children to Lakshadweep when they were small boys. First time they saw corals, they were very happy and they went on asking us questions. What is this? What is that? How this works? How that works? About 101 questions they asked us. Then we went on answering their questions. Finally we thought, why not to write one book saying that there are 101 questions and replies for that. So we made questions and we wrote a book. It was a very good book. It was not only for our children, for other students, those who are interested in this, but they don't have access to this like our children. And that was the first book we both of us wrote. It was 101 questions on corals. Later on, we went on working. I was working on mangroves in NIO, whereas Dr. Wafar was working on corals and chemical oceanography.
1960s और 70s में जब
कंप्यूटर नहीं था, जब आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस नहीं थी, people did not crave much about science that time. And back then the question is, what exactly motivated you both to take up this career?
In the 1960s, there are only basic disciplines were offered in master's course like physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, statistics, and so on. Something about environment like the marine or the oceans, where all these different aspects are treated together, was unknown. When I finished my BSc, I got such an opportunity where Annamalai University was offering a course on Masters in Oceanography and Marine Biology. This is a discipline which looks oceans holistically, looks at the physics like currents, tides, and waves, chemistry like pollutants, nutrients, biology for fisheries and other organisms, and geology, what is sub below the sea at the sea bottom. And all these aspects were treated together holistically. So this was something which is novel in India at that time. When I applied for the admission for this course, it was they had only 4 years was I mean there was only about four batches have passed out. So it was a quite novel experience for me to go for this discipline, and since it's not a classical one, I liked it. And you know, the marine science at that time is like Alibaba's cave. You enter the cave, you look left, you find a jewel. You look right, you find another jewel, like that. So whatever do research on marine science is something novel and gives motivation to do more and more. That's how what kept me attracted and rather addicted to marine science, where I could lot of new research, and everything which I did was of my liking and something novel, like looking at remote sensing and ocean features, or deep sea circulation, or coral reefs, or marine pollution, and how the ecosystem function, and similar things I did. And finally, I ended up looking at the marine biodiversity of India and how to conserve them, how to protect their habitats from future degradation. This is what kept me hooked on to marine science all my life. Thank you.
Soon after I completed my MSc, Master's degree in Science, I joined a junior college and I was teaching 11th and 12th Science. I was very much interested in teaching and I was enjoying teaching. Meanwhile, my brother, who was in Vasco, he came and showed me an advertisement. It was for National Institute of Oceanography, scientific assistant. I applied for that and I got also. But when I got the post in NIO, I was not very happy because that was the first time I was leaving my house. I went on sending the letters to Director NIO saying that I am not well, I will attach some doctor certificate and send. Second time again. Third time I sent. So third time reply came from Director saying that this is the last, whether you are coming or not. So I had to join. I joined NIO, but I took interest in science. I was interested in science from beginning, but only thing is I was afraid to leave the house and come out. When I joined NIO, I was master's, but post was for BSc. So that time we had a director, Dr. S.Z. Qasim. He called and told me, you are MSc, post is for BSc, but don't worry. Soon if you do work properly, nicely, you will get the next position. And to my surprise, within a year, advertisement came for the next post. And I applied, I got that. Then afterwards there was no stop for me, I went on going up. Then I did my PhD. I showed interest in this thing. That was the first time I was working in ocean studies or in estuaries, getting in the mud, seeing mangroves. Because till now I was working on land plants, all plants on the land, like teakwood or any grass or mango or jackfruit, like that. That was completely different than working here. But I started taking interest and I enjoyed. Finally, I did my PhD in the same mangroves. It was ecology of mangroves, along Goa coast. That work became very, very good work. My guide was Dr. E.G. Untawale. He was very supportive in this. So I thank Dr. Untawale and I remember him with gratitude here.
Your sheer hard work and passion for your job has, earned you your both name and fame in Goa, outside Goa. So, can you all tell us something about your achievements?
Normally, a scientist's achievements are judged by the number of papers he publishes. That's good, but these achievements remain only known to a handful of other scientists. Doesn't go to the public and doesn't tell the public what these achievements really mean to them in their day-to-day life. This realization came to me in 98 when the corals were dying because of the extreme global warming and there's a lot of mortality and people didn't know what to do with that one. Until then, monitoring the corals was in the domain of only scientists. So the public were not interested. So I thought we should start involving public. So idea was to have a team of observers, both scientists and the public from the Lakshadweep Islands as part of our project. So I got the youngsters in all the 10 islands trained in scuba diving, trained in coral identification, trained in recording changes in coral reef so that the monitoring of the coral reef in long term after the global warming effects becomes a combined effort of scientists and public alike. That means all the stakeholders are brought into picture. That was one of the first achievements of translating science into public welfare. The second thing what I rate as one of the achievements was my involvement in coastal marine biodiversity of India. We know about biodiversity and we know that species are important and we can't afford to lose any species for fear of losing the ecosystem, for losing the resources, etc. But people still don't know how to go about it. So I got involved with the National Biodiversity Action Plan, contributed to the public about the importance of biodiversity and how to conserve the ecosystems and species life. That's a second achievement I consider as important. Third is bringing the science to the common people. People don't read scientific papers because they don't understand. But write a simple story, they'll understand. And write in a language which catches their imagination, they'll be more happy to read and learn. So this is what brought I and my wife, Dr. Saida Wafar, into writing books on awareness. We began with the coral reefs, telling all people about what are the corals and how important for us. And this was continued with the mangroves, then with the deep sea, and we are going to blue economy and then Western Ghats and so on. So these are the achievements which I rate important because this helped me to translate science to a public welfare.
When I joined, it was mangroves I was working on. So I started my work on simple like biochemistry of mangroves and all that. Finally, I went on expanding the field, the studies, what I was doing. And then I changed to productivity of mangroves. That was my thesis work, where I worked on one spot. I did everything like how mangroves are productive, how they help for the fisheries, how much energy flows from mangroves, from waters to the neighboring coastal ecosystems. The entire thing I studied in one point. There were studies earlier also, till now they are referred, but that study was one study in one place. Some other study somebody else doing in some other place. This was the only one study. Even now, this is the only one study in the world where all the studies are done in the same mangroves in the same area. That is one of the things I can say that it was a big achievement of my studies. In my studies, what I did is I started with mangrove plants. I will explain to you afterwards what are mangrove plants. Mangrove plants, then from that leaves fall, litter fall. There is no other place for mangroves when those leaves to go, so it sinks inside, it decays, decomposition takes place. After that, some mass is formed, decomposed material, and from that, nutrients are released. Once these nutrients are released, organic matter is released. Some goes to fish and prawns, which are there in mangrove waters. They feed on that. Some goes to this neighboring coastland. So the whole, and then some is absorbed by the plant. So this entire cycle is called as food cycle or food web. It was studied in one area in Shora, in Achra, by me. Study was for about 2 years. Every 15 days, once we used to collect the litter fall, leaves fallen in the traps, and then same way, similarly, I was doing the decomposition studies in the same field, and from that flow in the same field, from that same field. This was the first study I did. Then after this, side by side, I was working on the plantation technique. Because when we talk of mangroves, we have to protect mangroves. Protecting from like that, asking them not to cut this, make different rules, make different policies, that is one thing. What I thought is, even my guide also was of the same thing, what we thought is, I can grow mangroves at like afforestation, plantation of mangroves. One is natural regeneration, protect the plants, seedlings which are coming up. Second was plantation. So this technique I made, and then the technique, I tried this technique also. Finally, I gave this technique to different forest departments of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat and Goa. Meanwhile, see these mangroves, what happens, there is a low tide and high tide in waters. High tide time you cannot do anything. Low tide only when mature plants, seedlings or fruits are fallen, we have to collect and then do the plantation. So what time we get for plantation is very less, very short time. That is why I thought of making nurseries. Whenever you get the seeds, seedlings, grow them in nurseries. Nurseries in the field only, in water only, along the river. And then take them out whenever you find the place which is suitable for growth. So this was nursery development. This was one achievement. Plantation was one achievement. It was not, this much was not enough, so started making people aware, making forest department people understand. Because forest department people also that time, what happened, they didn't have idea about marine plants. For forest people it was like that, getting seedlings, seeds, जाओ नर्सरी में लगा दो, जब बड़े हो जाएंगे तो खड्डा खोदना, लगाना उसमें और उसको पानी डालना. It was in this one terrestrial land plants. But here it was different completely. That to teach them, we had to take lectures. और मेरा एक advantage था कि I could speak many languages. कन्नड़ हो, मराठी हो, हिंदी हो, इंग्लिश हो, तमिल हो या कोंकणी, ये सभी लैंग्वेजेस मैं बात कर सकती थी easily. So that was one advantage for our group, for NIO. I could go anywhere to any department, any group, farmers, fishermen or forest officers. I could make them understand and convince that what they should do. So this was very good this thing for me, knowing the languages, one advantage.
Dr. Saida, you have worked for 40 years in NIO. और भले ही आपने वॉलंटरी रिटायरमेंट लिया हो, लेकिन उसके बाद भी आप काफ़ी एनर्जेटिक रही हैं अपने फील्ड में. सिमिलरली डॉक्टर मोहिदीन वफ़ा ने ऑलमोस्ट 50 इयर्स काम किया है एनआईओ में, और अभी भी जो है साइंस के फील्ड में कंट्रीब्यूशन आप दोनों का जारी है. यू आर अ वेरी आइडियलिस्टिक कपल अगर देखा जाए तो. फैमिली एज वेल एज प्रोफेशनल लाइफ बहुत अच्छे से आपने बैलेंस की है, बहुत खूबसूरती से बैलेंस की है. अगर मैं आपको एक मैसेज अगर मैं आपसे कहूँ कि एक मैसेज दो हमारे अपकमिंग जनरेशन के लिए, स्पेशली द बर्डिंग साइंटिस्ट, तो वो क्या होगा?
जो फोकस है वो छोड़ के डिस्ट्रैक्ट मत होइए कोई भी किसी भी बात के लिए. अपना काम आप जब स्टूडेंट है तो मेक यूज ऑफ टाइम एंड डू योर स्टडीज, लर्न मेनी थिंग्स, वॉट एवर थिंग्स यू कैन लर्न. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि सिर्फ स्टडी करो, पास हो, फर्स्ट रैंक आओ, मार्क्स लो. साथ साथ जितना हो सके नहीं उतने आप दूसरे चीज़ें डेवलप करते जाओ, दूसरी बातें सीखते जाओ. सी वेदर व्हेन नाउ गोइंग टू बीच, पीपल से even you can go to beach, there are many things to learn there for you. So don't stop your studies, be inquisitive. इतना कि नहीं कि किस लिए हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, ये पत्थर गिरा है, पत्थर के नीचे क्या है, ये जो चीज़ें हैं नहीं, ये दैट विल लीड यू टू स्टडी, टू डू द हायर स्टडीज, टू स्टडी मोर. फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकेंड, हैव कॉन्फिडेंस इन यूर सेल्फ कि when she can do, when he can do, why I cannot do, I can also do, मैं भी कर सकता हूँ. ये नहीं थोड़े बच्चे होते हैं जो कहते हैं नहीं वो हमारे बस की बात नहीं है, वो साइंस बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट है, नहीं वो मैथ्स करना पड़ता है इंजीनियरिंग को गए तो मैथ्स हमको आता नहीं. नो, लिव दिस, लर्न, डू थिंग्स प्रॉपरली. वो अपने पे जो भरोसा है नहीं, दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर स्टूडेंट्स. थर्ड बात है कि यू सी द ड्रीम्स, ख्वाब देखो, बड़े बड़े अच्छे अच्छे ख्वाब देखो. जब बहुत बड़ा ख्वाब देखेंगे आप तो हाफ तो डिस्टेंस पहुंच जाएंगे ख्वाब के नज़दीक नज़दीक. लेकिन सिर्फ ख्वाब देख के फ़ायदा नहीं है, साथ में साथ यू वर्क फॉर इट. जब कोई ख्वाब देखते हैं तो ख्वाब को फुलफिल करने के लिए हार्ड वर्क इज़ नेसेसरी. सो व्हाट आई वांट टू से इज़ you do live everything, study properly, be a good citizen of India, and be students or people who India or a country is proud of you. That's what I want to tell you.
This is a message I want to pass on to youngsters who want to become scientists. Say in science there are three different types. One is catch-up science, one is keep-up science, one is lead science. In the catch-up science, you do what others have already done, you repeat and show that you can also do that one. Second is keep up, you do like others are doing, but you don't go beyond them. The lead science, you do something what others have not done and you show the way. I want the youngsters, normally you begin like a catch up because you are learning, and you want to be keep up because you are improving, but don't be happy with only that. Go to the level of lead. We can do it. I'll give you an example from India and our own space research. In 1960s, when he launched the Soundly rocket from Tumba in Trivandrum, we were only a catch-up. We had just carried a rocket in a bicycle and launched it, whereas others had already gone to moon. In 80s and 90s, when we started launching our own satellites, and we had polar satellite launch vehicles and geostationary satellite launch vehicles, we were keep up. We are doing like others, like NASA was doing, like Ariane was doing in French GRU. We are already graduated level of keep up science in 30 years. Now, with our lander landing successfully on the moon, there too on the other side of the moon which nobody has attempted, we demonstrated to the world that we are lead in science. So that should be your ambition. You should try to go beyond catch up, keep up, and graduate to the level of lead science and show others what you can achieve by your own skill and dedication. This is a message I want to pass on the young scientists because then only you will be known to the others, not as one among the hundreds and thousands of scientists. You should stand as one individual scientist. That is important. That should be objective and ambition.
Thank you.